to a very special episode of A Doge's Breakfast. I'm your host, Big Deno. Today I have handed the camera over to one of the press gangers up here in Brisbane, Gigantor. You would have seen him on a couple of our other episodes. He has taken the camera over to Irresistible Force and done a little bit of a spotlight on one of our magnificent painters and players up here, which is Weir. So you'll get to see a bit of footage of some of his models, and Josh is going to interview him and have a bit of a chat, ask him how he does it, and hopefully it should be a bit of fun. So because there's nothing exclusive in this episode, we've released it to the public so everyone can enjoy. And if you like this type of episode, please let us know. We're happy to do it. We've got plenty of incredible painters up here, and there's plenty of incredible painters and hobbyists across the country. So we're happy to broaden the world's perspective on the Australian war machine community. So I'll pass over to Josh. Let's go, big man.
So we're down here at Irresistible Force with Weir. So Michael, this is your Scorn army here?
Yep.
So how long did it take you to paint all of this here?
I painted about 60 points in a day once.
A day?
It was in a rage after my men-off lost the tournament really badly, bought them all in one day, painted 60 points in a day. And then ended up painting the rest of it over the space of about 3 weekends.
So Michael also does commission painting, just to spruik him a bit there. Any particular pieces in this army which you're proud of, or you're just kind of nutting it out?
Ones I'm proud of is the bronze back. I particularly like the skin texture he got, and the bronzy sort of platinum hair on the back that follows the fluff. And I really like the blood drops and stuff all over his fist. Looks like he's really just exploded somebody. Siberian's another favourite. Siberian's big bloody hammer of doom is cool. Although the attention grabs that everybody always talks about are the two Arcanines.
So where'd you get the inspiration for these guys?
Avatar. They painted to match the Great Leonopteryx or whatever that Avatar, what do you call it, befriends at the end and saves the day with.
Very cool.
So I tried to go for the Avatar paint scheme on those guys, and I think it's turned out.
Very inspiring. Here's Phil. So what else have we got here?
Was that girly scream on film?
Yes.
Oh, thank you very much. I'll just grab my
So here we have some of Michael's crits.
the King Galleon. Very nice.
Do you want to pause and I'll do the rest of it?
Okay, so here we have Weir again. And this is some of the corrects. So give us a rundown of what's happening with these corrects.
Well, all Terminus here isn't finished yet, but he's getting there. This Crix army, a lot of it's repainted. A lot of it was grey to start with, and it's very pirate-based. Like if we have a look at the Black Banes, they're all based in water. But I've started to repaint them all blue because grey Crix, everybody does it and it's boring. I use a few proxied models in here to try and use more interesting models, I guess. So my Necrosurgeon and the Stitch Thralls happen to be more like the Pimp and her hose. So I was going for a bit of a siren theme there. Instead of a Scarlock, I wanted a pretty female Scarlock, so I've used that model. And a few other bits and pieces like that.
So you've got standard Blood Witches, standard Saxon.
Yeah.
And we've
There's
got
an ordinary Scarlock for when Terminus is playing, because I figured he'd scare the little female Scarlock away. So
pretty cool Banelord Tartarus conversion. What did you use for the hand there?
I believe that is an old school zombie hand from GW.
Because I converted mine very similar, but I just munted the hand.
The Epic Denegra is a conversion based on a GW Dark Elf. But I personally tried painting the original Epic Denegra a few times and just couldn't get any of her to look.
Horrible, isn't she?
So the sculpting around the chest and stuff was terrible, so she's out.
This is your piece guy.
Yep.
She's got a what's her name? Melfo base? Or you just made that
it's
yourself?
wooden laser cut bases from Aetherworks or something, I believe.
Aetherworks?
Yeah. And it came with the headstone as well. And if you look closely at the headstone, the name of the person that's died is Hope, and there's a little Signar symbol on it. So
that's awesome. It doesn't focus in on it though. But it's very cool.
So it's meant to be that Scar is the end of hope for all of Signar. My favourite models in this army though are my Wither Shadow Combine. I particularly like Maelavis's use of wearing a human skin as his cloak. And also, if you have a close look at Admonia here, if we can zoom in on her book, they even put lettering and some pictures and diagrams on her spellbook.
It's very cool.
Another highlight, and he doesn't see as much table time as I'd like, is my particularly bloody Gerlach.
It's just rocking it.
Yeah.
I'd love to see what you do with some Blood Gorges in a similar scheme.
Yeah, it would be cool. I do have them ready to go. It's just too many things to paint already.
So this guy here, I'm a big fan of how you've done the flesh. It's very nice and simple.
Thank you.
But yet very effective.
Yeah. I'm particularly a big fan of this army. I really like the way it's turning out. This is another model I really like. I think his armor comes out really well. And he's got a lot of extra little details to put in, like if you look close at his bicep, he's got a little cut on his bicep and you can see some blood dripping out of it. Another detail I was going for, his little bag at the back here. I decided I wanted it to be like his lunch bag, and it's leaked. So if you look closely, it's got like glossy red stains in there, like, I don't know, maybe screwing away a Khador head ready to eat later or something.
And with the armor, what kind of chipping method do you use? Chipping or?
Yep, the chipping method, it's relatively easy to see on this shield because of the bigger area. I sponge on a dark brown colour, similar to Umbral Umber, and then I highlight it just using a very fine detailed brush with the same arcane blue style armor that I use for everything else.
And so it's very different from the way Trent does it, using the salt chipping with the airbrush?
Yeah. I always found the salt chipping was too messy for my style, but that's also because I'm a bit lazy and I like to just do things straight up from the first place.
Very nice. So let's have a look at these other models over here.
Here is the test scheme from the Bane Knights. Once again, not enough hours in a day to be able to paint everything I'd like, but I think they're turning out fairly well. I'd like to.
Very nice.
I'm particularly happy with his head. I think his head's got some nice detail on it. Similarly, here's a test scheme for my Mechanothralls.
You're going to paint up about 1,000 of them?
I have 30 of them ready to go, and I'm similarly going to paint a unit of Soul Hunters in the exact same scheme, which I'm actually looking forward to. I think the Soul Hunters look cool in the blue and bloody bone. Finally, I'm a fairly serial faction jumper. So here's the test scheme for my Convergence of Cyrus. I really like the carbon look the metal has and the bit of a stealth camo, very Metal Gear Solid inspired.
So how long did it take you to do a model like that?
This one, a bit of it is a bit of smoke and mirrors. A lot of it's done by just the airbrush catching a lot of the details. So the bulk of the model's probably done in the first 2 hours, but it takes me another 3 or 4 hours to make sure I pick out all the gems and the lighting effects and everything else like that and get it all perfect. So it's probably a good 6 hours per model.
Okay. So is that all got?
No. These guys.
So over here we've got some other colour schemes from some other armies Michael's been doing. This is your Pecan.
Yep.
And very similar schemes to the way you've done the Convergence.
Yep. This cane was the basically the test piece. I really liked it, but I didn't think that the style would suit Signar's like model architecture as well as it would for Convergence. So I decided to steal the scheme and give it to Convergence instead.
Let's have a look at this. This is your Veil 1.
Yep. She was a really fun model to paint. I was trying to do a bit of an exercise in monochrome. I wanted it to be only one shade of colour the whole way through with just a little bit of colour to break it up. And the only little bit of colour that's actually on her that's not the same shade of grey is the small grass tuft in the front base.
So did you use, which grey did you use for this?
It's a Vallejo model model color called Luftwaffe Grey or something like that.
And it has a slight bit of blue, it looks like, mixed in with it.
Yeah, it's very similar to old GW Shadow Grey.
Okay.
So it's like a dark purple grey colour, highlighted up with lots of frostbite, which has a bit of light blue in it as well.
Yeah. Looking very good. And here we've got a Sea Dog Rifleman.
Test scheme from my pirate army. They're also painted in the exact same metal method and everything to match my my cricks, and they've got the same highlight colours with the turquoise and the purple, so that if I use my sea dogs with my cricks, they're going to look like they match, but they'll still look independent as a pirate army themselves.
Love the basing you've done here. Very simple but very effective. Just a bit of core.
Yep, cork disguised well enough that 90% of people won't realise that it's cork.
Is this your actual scheme for your Signo?
Yes.
So this is P. Haley?
Yeah, P. Haley. My Signar army is completely done in non-metallic metals. So if you notice, she's got a crystal blade there, but her staff is non-metallic silver, and she's got some gold belt buckles and stuff around the place that are also non-metallic. And her, if you look at her backpack and all those kinds of pieces, it's all non-metallic metals there. That's my original scar. You'll notice that she's painted in the same scheme as the grey for the cricks I was originally talking about. She's got the water base, and if you have a close look at the water base, you can see there's coral under the water that I've even sculpted in there.
Don't think the camera's going to pick that up, but it does look pretty brilliant.
If you turn them around, I've even got a little custom snail that I sculpted and painted and added to it.
That's awesome.
Particular fan of her hair. I think her hair turned out really nice.
And what have we got here?
This is still a work in progress, but it was an experiment in two-brush blending. I really like the way she's starting to turn out, and I don't know if the camera's going to be able to focus well enough, but if you look closely at the each of her fabric panels, they're all filigreed. So there's lots of extra spirals and swirls, and it's like she's wearing a fully embroidered cloak, and all that is just freehand.
That's great. You can't even, you definitely won't be able to see that on the camera, but that looks amazing.
Thanks, man.
And over here we've got a Stonewall painted by me with a nice base topper of a Kraken. He's still a work in progress myself. He's still got a bit of weathering to go and a bit more shading, but I'm pretty happy with how he's going.
I particularly like the arcane blue sort of light effect you got happening there. It worked out really well.
Thanks, Michael. Yeah, it was a bit of a test model, but I think he's turned out really well. And for my first large base, I'm really happy with. I didn't nut out in like a day like I did with the Kraken. He's looking pretty good. And Pierre Madras did the conversion. He is a monster. He just does the most insane conversions, and they look amazing.
It really is. His Crick's army really deserves to get some camera time as well. They're awesome.
Yeah. Hi, Michael. Thanks a lot for being on a Doge's Breakfast.
That's all right. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for that, Josh. That was some really good stuff there. You got to see a lot of Michael's armies, and mate, that guy can paint like a machine. That Scorn army was done in such a quick amount of time. So incredible work. Thank you for tuning in to this public and awesome episode of A Doge's Breakfast. It's now 2 weeks and 6 days until I get on a plane to head to Seattle. The excitement is palpable. We are getting so pumped up for this, and we are really excited and hoping we can do well. So thank you everyone for the support, and thank you everyone for getting behind us the way you have. It's been really awesome. So can't wait to take some footage for everyone to catch up on. So thanks very much, guys. I'll talk to you on another episode. Cheers.